Eggplants are wonderful vegetables to grow in the garden. They're easy to start from seed if you know a few tricks. Now today I'd like to share with you how I start my eggplant seeds and what variety of eggplant I like to grow. So this planting method will work for all eggplant varieties. So eggplant come in 3 different types. There's Asian, Italian, and mini. They also come in white, purple, pink, black, green, and purple stripes. So I grow the Asian type because of our short growing season, and the Asian type are very prolific. The varieties I like to grow are Orient Express and Violet Delight. I don't like to grow the white varieties because they can look dirty, so I just grow the darker eggplants. So eggplants are frost tender and they cannot take a frost. But they don't mind being transplanted, and this is really good for us because we can start the eggplants in the house 8 weeks before we plant them in the garden. So here's my 5-step process to getting eggplant ready to be planted in the garden. So number 1 is the start time. You know, it's really important to start the plants at the right time. Too early and they're going to get leggy, and too late and you may not get a crop. You know, start time will vary depending on your growing zone. So look up your last average frost date and then count back 8 weeks. For example, my last average frost date is May 15th. 8 weeks back will be around March 15th, and this is when I start my eggplant seeds. All right, number 2, plant the seeds in a small planting tray or pot. Use a seedling soil mix. The reason we want to use a seedling soil starter mix is because some of the seeds are sensitive to fertilizers and they're not going to germinate if there's fertilizer in the soil. So you want to cover the seeds with 1/8 of an inch of soil, water well, and it's really safer to start all of your seeds in a seedling starter mix. Now we have our family secret seedling soil mix recipe. It's available to you. I'll put a link in the description below if you want to go get it. And if you want to buy a pre-made mix, I would use the Seed Starter Natural Potting Soil Mix. It's made in the United States, and it's what the professional growers use. So I'll put a link in the description below if you want to find the seedling starter mix. Now you're going to want 2 eggplants per person that you are feeding, and if you're going to freeze some eggplant for the winter, go ahead and plant double. For example, there are 4 people that I am feeding. I will plant 8 eggplants for fresh eating and 8 for preserving. This is a total of 16 plants, so I'm going to sow 32 seeds. Now the reason I want to sow so many seeds is that things can happen to the seedlings along the way, and I want to be sure that I get enough eggplants to put in the ground. So if I have extra plants, not a problem, I can give some away, but I can never get the time back if I don't plant enough. So plant double what you are wanting. All right, number 3, you're going to grow the plants in a tray under 12 hours of light, keeping the night temperatures above 60 degrees. Once you see the first adult leaves starting to grow, it is time to transplant the seedlings into their own pots. This happens around 3 weeks. All right, number 4, transplant the seedlings into organic potting soil. I like the Happy Frog potting soil. I love this company because they understand how important the soil biology is for our plants' health. I'll put the link in the description below if you want to find it. And if you want to make your own potting soil, go ahead and use our family secret seedling mix. And then you're going to add 1 cup of compost for every 8 cups of seedling soil mix. At this stage, the nutrients that came in the seed is used up and the plant is now needing a source of nutrients in the soil. So compost will work best. If you don't have your own compost, I would use Espoma Organic Land and Sea Gourmet Compost or worm castings. I like the Brute Organic Worm Castings. So anytime you're selecting an amendment for your garden, make sure that it has the OMRI listing or another organic certification. This is important to the biology that lives around your plant's roots and helps your plant to be strong and healthy. So at this point, it is important to put your plants outside during the day and back inside at night. So start the plants with a few hours of sunlight and then back inside, and then add an hour of sunlight a day until they can be outside in the full sunlight when the temperatures are above 60 degrees. Also keep them moist as you're hardening them off to be outside. Number 5, once you are on your average last frost date, check the 10-day forecast. If there are no freezing nights, you can plant your eggplant outside. If a storm is going to come through and freeze the plants, I would go ahead and cover them with a frost blanket. There's a link in the description below for you to find the right type of frost blanket for your garden. Now, if you'd like to learn 3 low-tech frost protection systems for tomatoes and other frost tender seedlings, you can check out our video. I'll put the link below so you can grab that. Now, if you want to learn how to grow $2,500 worth of organic vegetables on 128 square feet with only a 15-minute a day commitment, you can jump into our High Performance Garden Show. There are over 300 episodes for you to learn from, and it's free, it's online, and you can find it at thelivingfarm.org/high-performance-garden-show, or I'll put a link in the description below.